we ever gonna have a Halloween? It's not snowing or raining. I watched it was a meme or something, probably relating to all cold places, but it was talking about Northern Ontario and stuff. And you know, if you're going out as Spider-Man, for example, you're going out as Spider-Man with a coat. Oh man, I'm thinking a lot about the books lately that my father wrote. His novellas and short stories, and then some of the things that I've been working on as well. I'm trying to slowly push out there. Some things are more ready than others. I was thinking of some type of a compilation. We've got White Tape out there that he wrote back in the 80s, and then good luck finding Bear Man, the Troy Herchebys saga. Actually, the copy I have, the front of it got a little ruined. The ink started to run on it, which is a damn shame. It was like a mint copy, but such is life. What can you do? But I think it would be interesting to have all of that compiled, because it probably wouldn't be more than like if you took all of them. The old man was, so he only ever did novellas, except for, I think he did a book called Armadillo, which was like a crime thriller. That was probably one of the only books he read. My uncle would probably correct, or books he wrote, my uncle would correct me on that. But he would always do novellas, especially as he got older, because he would write in bursts. He would essentially lock himself away and then, pump a novella out, right? 35, 40,000 words. It's not a crazy word count, especially if you're doing 2,000 or 3,000 words a day. If you're Stephen King style, locking yourself away 8-10 hours. I think Sanderson does the same thing. He'll break it up into a couple hour chunks. So the old man wouldn't do that. He would just blast it, one go, right? Just one sit down and write for 10 hours, sometimes 20, and he'd do that for like a month straight. But then he would fizzle out, right? So he would just do the novella. He'd kind of finish it, and it was the first draft. Man hated to go back. He could not stand critique. I remember we were trying to talk to him about backstory once, and he just, for whatever reason, that was not clicking in his brain. He's like, what the hell do you mean backstory? What does that mean? I was too young to really explain it better, but I was like, you're entering characters, there's no history to them. There's nothing. You're not building on them at all. You're entering the characters that you like, and you know why they're cool, but you're not telling me why they're cool. Gotta fix the lid on that. What's going on with this? Well, it is what it is. I bring all this up because I've been just reading a lot more lately. A lot more than I ever did. I had to almost force myself to get back into it. Took such a long break from reading in general, because every time I'd want to read, I'm like, why am I not writing? And then I go write, and I didn't realize how stagnant I had become for years. The story wasn't improving, especially the same story, you know what I mean? So I had to ditch all that, and then I think I spoke about I guess it's a horror, it's a thriller, it's a novella that I'm now turning into a full-length novel, set in North Bay, this very city. It'd be better if it was foggy, but think of North Bay kind of clashing with a bit of Silent Hill and The Mist, maybe even a little bit of Alan Wake in there as well. Gotten a lot of great feedback on that, so I'm pretty excited to kind of explore that and see how it grows. Which brings me back to the old man's writing. It was always so strange because he would focus on stories, but it's like, I don't know, you can only do it for so long. Like, I've always got these stories on my mind. Like, I've been doing Fog for I started writing Fog of Ypres 3 years ago, and I finished probably 3 drafts of that version, and then I shelved it because I was like, okay, we're done. I don't know where it wants to go. I wasn't ready to send it out and start querying and things like that, so I just put it away, right? I came back to it recently, and I put another 40,000 words into it, sent it out to a couple of friends. They liked it. I knew that it was already pretty good, I'm not gonna toot my own horn. Like, was it the greatest thing you've ever read in your life? Like, probably not. But was it bad? I've been told it was pretty good, so I'll take that. But it's like, it was always on my mind. He would always go back to, another thing I've spoken about a couple videos ago, a little while ago now, was his obsession with specifically angels and demons. He was always writing about religious fantasy, right? That was the genre. I don't know if that's a genre, but that's what it was. You know what I mean? You take the Bible, and then he kind of picks and chooses from it, and then we've got like some cool battle scenes and stuff like that. We always go back to that, but what I hope to do, this is why I need a script, guys, because I ramble a bit. What I hope to do, talking about compiling it, is compile it and then go through it myself, because I've been around him long enough that I feel like I know what he wanted from the story. And then edit it and maybe add some things to it, because that's all it needed. Someone called it before, it's all gravy and no meat. Like there's it's not that there's no substance to the old man's writing. He certainly got better as he aged, but because of how swiftly he would write and his inability to take criticism, he wouldn't be able to go back and reflect on certain things. Near the end, he was filling like volumes of stuff with backstory. You know what I mean? I gotta find that. I've got thousands upon thousands of pages of just handwritten notes and stuff in my closet downstairs from him. So I feel like I might make a go of that, but I've got so many things. You know, you can only do so much at the same time, right? I spoke with a director a while ago, Chris Smith. He did American Movie. It's a documentary. He's very famous. He's a very talented director, but I guess he works on 2, 3, 4 different projects at the same time. Like, he's just one of those human beings. He can't just sit down and do one, right? He's not just working on 2 documentaries. He's got 4 going on, because it's just, I guess that's how his brain works, and he needs to jump around, and maybe he hits like a writer's block on one project, and I guess he'll jump over to the next one, and then by the time he's finished that one, he's come up with the idea for the other one. He's all over the place with it. That's kind of how I feel right now. But I'm not that talented. So I've got so many ideas. I've got, we've got the short story turning into a full novel with Fog. I've actually got a short story that I sent out, oh my God, a year ago. No way that got accepted, but it could be like a tie-in. And then when you talk about all the old man's novels, we got something there. I might do, he used to do readings on YouTube. I wish those were still up. I kind of like miss his voice sometimes. I used to hate to listen to him talk on camera. Now I go out of my way to find it. But he used to do these, what was his name? Malcolm Guy, the guy with the pipe, and he does Lord of the Rings videos. The old man would do that. Not as cool. The old man he had like a rocking chair in the corner. He'd be smoking his cigarettes, and he'd just be reading for like an hour straight. I wish I had those videos. They used to be on YouTube, but he took them all down. So I was thinking of doing something like that. I don't know if I have a good reading voice, though. So we'll try and figure that out. But those were just some thoughts today while I was driving around. I figured I might as well put the camera on, see what happens. And I'm just, like I said, it's just been nothing but books lately, which is great. And sitting on, I always talk about the archive and the videos, but there's more than just the videos, right? There's the pages, there's the books, there's so much to that. So we're gonna see how that goes, guys. As always, this was Have Truck Will Travel.